Well, Rich, is it fair to say that Friday's win over Rovers was a bit tainted and all that went on after the match, and individuals targeting the Rovers manager Stephen Bradley, was the win a bit tainted for you?
Look, the night was overshadowed probably a little bit by it. It wasn't nice, and I don't think it represents what we are as a club. I think you've seen the true Cork City come out in the days since, in terms of what's happening, in terms of fundraising and stuff like that from the lads in the podcast and around the place. So look, it's that's probably the true reflection of our fan base. Look, what's happened, look, we don't condone. And I was on the pitch actually coming off post match, and I was made aware from it by a member of Shamrock Rovers staff. So my first reaction was to go to Stephen and apologise to him on the pitch, and I made sure I let him know that it wasn't a reflection on our club the way they were chanting and so on. So look, it was it was one of those that it is nice, it shouldn't be accepted in football, it shouldn't be accepted in society, and hopefully there'll be lessons learned from it.
Yeah, hugely important 3 points on the night for you. Obviously, back-to-back wins for the first time of the season, Rich, without conceding, which is obviously great for the confidence of the team.
Yeah, no, as I said afterwards, I think that 11v11, I thought that we restricted them to maybe shots from outside the box and so on. They're going to have moments because they're obviously they're champions the last couple of years and they're a really good side. But I thought defensively we set up well, and we had a threat going the other way as well. So the red cards happened. It was bonkers really in the second half. The way it kind of exploded and stuff like that. But the main thing for us was to keep our composure, because obviously when you're playing against 10, 9, 8, what happens is then that the expectancy from the crowd is let's get the goal, and every misplaced pass or misplaced cross or a shot that doesn't hit the target, there's a load of groan as it goes on. But in fairness to the lads, they kept their composure, and it was a great goal to win the game.
Yeah, and I know it's a squad game, but I remember talking to you after the game. You did have about 3 top players, really. Larry Gilchrist, Matt was out, and Keane Coleman. What's the latest with those for Friday? Are they all back?
Maddie's back from suspension. Ali's still a little bit. He felt it, last week he felt a little bit on his hamstring, so we're going to have to assess him during the week. Keane Coleman's available for selection as well, so it's good to have that sort of headache now in comparison to the last couple of weeks where we've I've been down to bare bones in terms of like lads have come in from the academy and stuff. That has been great. It's a great experience for them and stuff. That being on the bench and stuff, but probably gives us more experience in terms of options off the bench as well.
Yeah, I know every game in the league is a huge game, Rich. But when you think where Drogheda are and where you are, you don't want them to open up an 8-point gap on you. In that respect, like it's a huge game, isn't it, Friday?
Look, every game is a huge game, Trev, to be honest. And the way I look at Drogheda, I think it was asked after the game, is it a 6-pointer and all this stuff. Not at this stage of the season for me. I think that you see the way the league has gone, you can go on a run of wins, you can go on a run of losses. I think our last 2 wins have brought 1 or 2 teams into it as well. So it's not just Drogheda at the moment. There's other teams. Obviously, Sligo had a good win against Derry. But it's look for us. We just take one game at a time, and we were going up to Drogheda hopefully to get the 3 points.
What did it take from the game against the Maternus Cross? You drew 1-1. There was not much in between the 2 teams. What did it take from that game?
No, look, I thought they're very organised. They're very aggressive on the press, especially up there. Watching the games from them up there, and that they are very aggressive. Tighter pitch, so it makes for a bit more of a transitional game too at times. But going back to the game at the Cross, I thought that in a winning position we gave up probably 3 points that day. It was a individual error probably cost us that day as well.
Own goal.
It was an own goal. So again, when you look through the season, it's individual errors that we've been speaking about. And I think, look, obviously the last couple of weeks that the clean sheets have been the basis of us getting 3 points. And you look at the 4 games we've won at home, we've won them all by keeping a clean sheet. So that's the big one.
Yeah, definitely. And the 2 of you are in form at the moment, going into the fixture. Like you've won the last 2, they've won 2 of the last 3. So kind of 2 form teams, really. Yeah,
but look, again, some of their losses that they've had in their run there before their wins, they're unlucky in games as well. So they're not a bad side. There's no you look at it there's no bad sides in the league as such. Even watching UCD the other night against them, they had opportunities against Drogheda as well. So people write off teams in the league and say, oh, just because of league position they're a bad side. No, I'm not having any of that. And look, you see, they beat Shamrock Rovers the week before, you know. So again, any team in this league can beat anyone, you know.
Yeah, I suppose looking at your away record, it's poor to say the least, Rich. Like with what is it, 6 losses and 2 draws? That's the concern, isn't it? Away from home, you haven't got a win yet.
Yeah, that's probably the one now. Is that look, you know, we've got the back-to-back wins. You know, that's probably the next now on the list that we need to, you know, hopefully go and get 3 points away from home. You know, again this year we've been in winning positions away from home. You just look a couple of weeks ago up in Dundalk, you know, where
Dundalk, Sligo, and
you know, we've been controlling games at times, and it's just you know, either to individual error or refereeing decision or something like that that's kind of against us. That's kind of cost us in them games, you know. But
so obviously something you talked about, Rich, is it like that, you know, leading games and then to lose them late or draw them late in the game? That's something obviously discussed. Like.
Yeah, look, you obviously discuss some team meetings and that, you know, like that we would discuss it, like, you know, and I think that, as I said, from first week, and you know, and obviously Colin was saying from first week as well, is that some of the lads are learning on the job, and that's part of it as well as game management, you know, and making sure that you can see out games. And probably the last 2 weeks winning 1-0 has been probably better than winning 4-0, if that makes sense, because like you're getting that clean sheet to make sure that you win the game, and you know that you have to maybe have little moments where you have to defend and so on, you know. So look, that's been good for the group, you know.
Yeah, just the last one for me, Rich. You know, what's key, do you think, to get a positive result here and to build on what you've done in the last few weeks?
I think we have to match the work rate first and foremost. I think it's going to be a different type of game if we do that, and we can stick to what we've been doing in terms of us on the ball and creating chances and taking chances away from home. And again, going back to keeping clean sheets, you know, and defending your box properly. That's what we need to do, you know.